Everybody, please give a huge round of applause for Raegan Revord!
Hello.
Hello, Missy.
Oh, hey.
How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Doing well. Good to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome to
I'm very
Indianapolis and all of its splendor and glory.
excited. I'm very excited to be here. I've never been.
Well, the nice thing about downtown, you can be anywhere in 10 minutes.
I heard that. I was looking at bookstores because I'm me. Of course, I'm looking at bookstores. And there was a lot of really cool bookstores and stuff to do nearby. So I'm very excited to go explore.
Great, good to have you here. So how'd you end up the part of Missy on Young Sheldon? That's the question everybody wants to know.
How'd I end up with the part?
Yeah. Apart from auditioning, obviously.
I mean, I was about to say, I've been auditioning since I was 4, and I got the Young Sheldon audition. And from the minute I sent in the first tape, I was incessantly asking. I was have you heard back? Have you heard back? For some reason, I was I need to know about this character. I loved Missy. And then they had me go back in 9 other times and redo it different ways. One day they told my my agent, they were can she go in and do it with a strong Southern accent? Thankfully my family's from the South, and so I called them and I was hey, I just need you to talk so I can hear how you talk. And then years later I asked the showrunners, I was why did you pick me? I was so curious. And they were you said this one line different than anyone else, and it kind of intrigued us. And I was you booked me off of one line? That's brave. But yeah, I mean, that one line, man, it's kind of crazy to think about if I had played it differently.
So what was the one line?
It was that one line. It was I'm forgetting what specifically, but it was in the pilot, the dinner scene. It was something I said then. I can't remember the specific line, but it was
I wish I was
something
adopted. That can be arranged.
It could be that. That one was a funny one. I love that. That whole pilot is so much fun to go back and watch.
So what's it like working with the cast?
Amazing. I love them. I've been asked today, what's your favorite part of being on Young Sheldon? And I just keep saying the cast and crew. I got so lucky with the cast. I'm an only child, so I got 2 brothers out of it. And my family lives, like I said, in the South, and so I don't really get to see them often. And so I got a grandmother out here who plays Meemaw, obviously, and I go and I see her all the time, and my parents, and I love them all so much. And they're amazing. I love them. I just saw Montana yesterday. I hung out with him. I'm trying to plan to go hang out with Annie Potts, who plays Meemaw. So yeah, I love them. They're so very dear to my heart.
One thing I always noticed about Young Sheldon, which by the way is one of my favorite TV shows right now that's actually on, even in reruns on Hulu and Disney Plus, wherever streaming service it's on, or YouTube, whatever we're watching these days, is how well the writing and the actors just seem to work together so well. Sometimes you have good actors, but not necessarily good writing, or good writing and sometimes bad actors. But I was pleasantly surprised. That's why I love the show, is how well everything just sort of gels and works so well together. Even the episodes that maybe it's sort of but they're still better than most TV shows on right now.
Yeah, I mean, the writers are genius at what they do, and I think the casting also, I don't know what magic they're working, how they found the perfect family to go together. From the very second we met, we were we clicked, we were just instantly bonded, and I think it all goes so well together. And we're also similar to our characters. Montana and Georgie, there is no difference. They are one and the same. And so I think with the writers also being so amazing at what they do, I think it does really go well together.
So I got to ask you, what was your favorite episode?
I've been told this is an unexpected answer, but the tornado episode that I filmed with Lance was my favorite one. I also loved the one where I tackle the kid. If you're noticing a theme, Stunts. And the tornado episode was so much fun because it was very trauma bonding for Lance and I, because we just laid in a ditch all day in the cold and just hung out, and it was actually a lot of fun. And I would go back Someone once asked me, they were like, if you could go back and refilm an episode, it'd be that, because I just loved it so much. It was so much fun.
And the one you talk about tackling the kid is the baseball episode.
Yes. That episode was so much fun. It was the first stunt I'd ever done, and I was so fascinated by it. I still am fascinated by stunts, but it was a lot of fun. And I also loved the baseball storyline too. So it was just, that's stunts and baseball. It was perfect.
I love when Annie Potts yells, "Kick him in the nuts."
Annie Potts, comedy gold. I love that woman. She's my favorite.
You got a question? Come on up.
Sorry. Okay, first off, I love your work.
Thank you.
Ooh, that's. And another one. Okay. Hold on, I forgot my question. Sorry, I'm nervous. Oh yeah,
You're
you're
good, take your
17, right? Do you plan on going to college, or do you plan on working on more projects? Because I'd love to see you do more projects.
I'm actually doing both right now. I'm at UCLA. I'm not taking full-time classes there because that'd be maybe a bit too crazy. But I'm taking like extension classes there part-time, and I actually get to miss some of my classes because I'm here. Don't tell my professors I said that. But I'm also still auditioning and hoping to be in something soon. So yeah, I'm doing a little bit of both.
Awesome. Love to see you do more work.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's it.
I know one of the things a lot of people worry about, particularly with child actors, is you get sort of stereotyped as a child character actor, and that's all you can do for the rest of your adult life. You got to wait like 10, 15 years. So how do you deal with that?
I mean, I think the thing with comedy is with any genre, it is like you can get really pigeonholed. And so I am like trying to look for like characters that aren't the exact same as Missy. I really want to do a drama. This is gonna sound sad, but the ending of Young Sheldon was very drama heavy. If you watch the end of the show, you know what I'm talking about. And so it was very emotional, but it was fun to kind of work a different acting muscle and kind of like test to see if I could do that more drama heavy genre. And so I want to do that, but I think just like trying to like, because how you said, how do you combat like being stereotyped as a child actor? I think like really trying to see other different venues of acting and just trying to do other stuff besides whatever genre you did as a child actor.
Yes, ma'am. Your question.
In either Young Sheldon or Georgie and Mandy's first marriage, who is your favorite cast member?
Oh God. I'm gonna sound like I say this about my pets actually, but I love them all for like very different reasons. Like we're all so insanely close, but like I love both of the brothers in the show because I'm an only child, and so I got to have siblings, and so that was really special to me. My least favorite is Lance. I'm kidding. I love him, but don't tell him I said that. But I don't know. Honestly, I couldn't answer that because I love them all so very much, and I hold so much love for them that I genuinely couldn't answer that.
Okay.
It's interesting because you mentioned that the cast is like a family. I know there's Stephen, who's the producer of the show? Gosh, Chuck Lorre used to do Roseanne, where Jackie's being Roseanne and her daughter in real life plays you guys' mom on the show, and on The Big Bang Theory, the guy who plays Leonard used to play David and Darlene.
It's a whole multiverse. We're the comedy version of the Marvel multiverse. We have, because like, I mean, Lance was in The Big Bang Theory as a different character, and then obviously Zoe's mom plays older Mary, I guess, in The Big Bang. So yeah, it's really interesting how they did that. I really think it's cool. I love it.
If you guys got any questions, feel free to come up and.
So I got kind of a two-parter. The first one, I believe it's like season 5 or 6, after Georgie gets Mandy pregnant and it all kind of goes out. When that one kid said, "Y'all are white trash," and you went up and punched him. Did you actually punch him, or did you punch him?
Another stunt question. This is great. I didn't actually punch him. He was also a very sweet kid, and so I was like, I don't want to like. My biggest fear is accidentally punching someone. You see the like behind the scenes clips of like where they're doing like a punch scene, and the person actually accidentally gets punched. So scared of that. I did not actually punch him, but movie magic, they made it look like I did, and it was a lot of fun. We had our stunt coordinator on set, and she was like showing me all the different kind of like punches I could do. It was really cool. But no, I did not actually punch him. He was too nice for that.
And then my second question. I know you said your most favorite actor to like do scenes with, but who is your least favorite? Kind of controversial.
What was my least favorite what?
Your least favorite cast member to do scenes with.
Oh, least favorite. Honestly, Melissa Peterman, not because I love that woman to death, but I get scared because she's so funny and she can improv so well. Mm-hmm. And so I love doing scenes with her, and I will ask to do scenes with her all the time. But she can improv, and I think I try to improv, but you never know what's gonna happen in a take because she just jumps all over, and she's so talented at improv, but I'm not anywhere near as amazing at it as she is. And so I feel like that because I always get a tad stressed out because I'm like, I never know what this woman is gonna do.
Thank you.
Sorry, I'm recording this.
You're good.
So first off, love your Twitch streams. They're amazing.
Thank you.
But since it's your first comic convention, who would you want to cosplay if you ever cosplayed?
Oh, I have so many like different things that I love. I did see a Link from Legend of Zelda cosplay earlier, and that was really cool. And that I was like, maybe one day. I don't know. I think all the cosplays are so cool, and I have so many different like niche interests and hyperfixations that genuinely I couldn't pick, but I think maybe Link is up there because I do love Legend of Zelda.
Ooh, I love that choice. Thank you so much.
Of course.
Okay, if she's recording this, I'm recording this too. Not gonna lie. So, what was probably the trickiest or most unexpected part during filming?
Trickiest or most unexpected? That's a good question. I feel like I really had to learn how to like not, this sounds so dumb, but how to like not laugh at the cast because I really like, they're so funny. And especially dinner scenes are hectic. You don't see it, but they're like 7 hours long. By the end of it, we're delirious from filming, and it's kind of going off the rails a tad. And they're so much fun to film, but I think probably like having, I've changed my answer. Having to learn how to like stay in it after 7 hours of filming. Because like even like you get 7 hours of sitting at a dinner table, you get full, you get tired, and so those scenes are just all over the place. But like having to learn how to like pace yourself with like eating food. Montana and I, when we first started the show, he'd be like, "Oh my God, dinner scene, we get to eat," and then 2 hours in, we'd be like, "I can't take another bite, I'm done." So we had to learn how to do that, and that was kind of unexpected because whenever you watch a movie, you're like, oh, they're just having a little dinner scene, and then like they have like one bite. It's like so much food. It's crazy. But yeah, probably learning how to like pace yourself during dinner scenes. Did not think that was a thing.
And also, if you could have one Marvel hero guest star on Young Sheldon or Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage, then who would you pick and why?
This is an amazing question.
Now, would it be Marvel or would it be DC?
Marvel. I'm a Marvel person.
Thank you.
I need to watch DC. I promise I will. I've seen a few DC movies. But Marvel person, oh, this is such an obvious, I don't know why, Florence Pugh. I don't know why I even thought about this. Yelena Belova, I love you. you're beloved. Beloved, get it? But yeah, Florence Pugh, definitely. Or Elizabeth Olsen, one of the two.
Cool. Thank you.
We'll get to your question just a second. I got to thinking, what was the gentleman who played Pastor Jeff? What is he like in real life?
Matt Hobby, I love him. He's so sweet. He's so funny. Anytime we're in, because, during a church scene, he's up at the pulpit, like he's up. And like, if they're ever, like if the camera's ever not on me or him, we'll just like, we've done staring contests during scenes. It's been really funny. But yeah, we'll just like silently communicate. I love him. He's so sweet. He's so nice. And hilarious. He's an amazing actor, and I love whenever we get to have scenes with him because it's always just so chaotic and fun.
Okay, I'm gonna switch topics and move it to books.
Yes.
What was your inspiration for your upcoming book that comes out in November?
So my book, Rules for Fake Girlfriends, you made me a bracelet about it.
Yes,
and
I did.
I'm wearing it, and I love it. It was a combination of inspirations. There's like 3 or 4 characters in it that I'd had just like, I do this thing where I think of a character and I'm like, oh my God, I need to write a book on them. And then I don't have a backstory, I don't have a plot, and I just have the character, but I'm like, I need to write something about you. And so I had a few of those, but nowhere really to put them. And then I've always wanted to write a book set in England, London, because that's where I want to live. And so I always wanted to write something there. And then I had a friend who, this was kind of the jumping off point for the main story of the book. I've known her since I was little, and she came to me once and she was like, we were hanging out and she was like, by the way, like I have this like health thing that could potentially become like bad. And I was like, oh my God. And then I kind of started thinking about like how that affects different relationships and stuff. And then with her permission, I used that as like kind of the main plot for the book, because obviously the main character loses her mom in the beginning. And so I kind of started thinking about that. And then I put the character ideas, and I put London in it. And now we have Rules for Fake Girlfriends. And I don't know how I started with a blank page, and now I have. Like, I look at it and I'm like, that's cool. I wrote that. That's cool.
All right, thank you.
Of course.
Hello.
Hi.
So, first of all, I'm such a fan of Missy's character. And I love the fact that that you've been able to appear in Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage, and that they have been bring back different characters from Young Sheldon into that show. But and you were talking about the great writers in Young Sheldon, and I thought, did the writers ever go to the cast and say, hey, what would you like to do in this particular episode? Or is there a particular action or word or conversation you'd like to have in it? Did the cast members have any input?
So they never really came to us, but if anything ever happened in our lives that we were like, that's kind of funny, we would like go and we'd be like, hey, like this could be a funny potential storyline at one point. And then they would use it or they wouldn't, but we would just be like, this happened. It was actually, they take a lot of stuff from like, especially Montana, because Montana is so much like his character. So like Montana will do or say something and then it ends up in the script. Like the other day, it was when I was filming on Georgie and Mandy, they had this Euro bar. And if you don't know what a Euro is, it's like it's a Greek dish and it's like pita bread. And then it has like falafel in it. And we had a Euro bar on stage and Montana and I were there and he was like, and I walked over and I was like, is this like a Euro bar? And he was like, it's called a gyro. And I'm like, it's called a euro. And he goes, ain't that money? And then I was like, it could be both. And then literally I was talking to someone, like I was talking to one of the writers and they were like, oh wait, we should use that. And then there's a storyline where he's talking about a euro and he calls it like a gyro or whatever. And it was so funny to me. I'm like, I know where that came from. It was really funny. But yeah, Montana is just so naturally funny that you can take so many storylines from him. It's funny.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
So, like Montana, like how you're saying how he's so much like his character, do you find yourself like finding it hard to separate your characters from you personally? Or do you find yourself acting more like your characters?
I mean, I think starting off, Missy and I were already really similar, which is one of the reasons that I was so attached to the show and like why whenever I first auditioned, I was like, I need to know, like, I need updates about like the audition and stuff. And because I did love Missy so much, when I was like 9, my one thing was like, we both love horses. Oh my God. But we're also they're both very like sassy and opinionated. But then as we grew up, we're still pretty much the same, but like I'm more introverted than she is. She's very much like popular girl at school. She like she's very extroverted. And so there is like some divide, but I don't think I have trouble differentiating. However, sometimes like I'll say something and I'm like, I'm pretty sure Missy has said that at some point. Like that's definitely happened on Young Sheldon or something. But I think that is just because we are so similar. So it's not that we're like, it's not like there's trouble differentiating, but it's just because we're so similar. The same stuff happens sometimes.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Hi again.
Hi.
What was your favorite moment with the cast, either on, like in the show or like in your personal life with them?
I mean, in the show, I feel like it definitely was tornado episode, as I said earlier, because that just was a lot of fun to film. In personal life, I will say Annie Potts taught me how to drive a boat, which that's brave of her. I was not the age I should be driving a boat. And she's also like an amazing teacher, so she was like right there. But I did not know how to drive a boat, and like it was honestly really hectic, but it was a lot of fun. And I now know how to drive a boat, but we were like, it was around her house. No one was like in danger or anything. It was like a small little lake. But yeah, I think like off and like personal life, probably that, because it was a lot of fun. We would just go over, we would like kayak around like the lake she lives on. It was a lot of fun. I just go over to her house and hang out. She's the best. I need to do that. I miss her very much.
In that scene where George was teaching you how to drive, did he actually teach you, or it was all fake?
No. I asked a lot if I could actually drive it because I knew how to drive. They were because obviously like having like a 15-year-old driving a truck on a set is a liability. It makes sense. But I was so upset because I was like, I know how to drive. I can just press the gas a little bit. They wouldn't let me. But I'm like, maybe now. I'm 17. I have my permit. You know, maybe they'll let me.
Awesome. And last question, do you still talk to Paige? I don't know her real name, but...
McKenna?
Yeah. McKenna.
I actually just called her the other day. We're planning a hangout right now, actually. But yes, she's like my sister. I love her. She's so sweet.
Awesome. Thank you.
Of course.
Okay, last question. How much stuff on set was scripted versus unscripted?
I would say most of it was scripted, unless you're in a scene with Melissa Peterman, then you never know. But there was, my favorite thing is the scene whenever George takes Missy on like the daddy-daughter date, and it's not the first one when they go to Red Lobster, but the one when they go and get burgers in the truck because Missy is a teenager now and she's too embarrassed to go to Red Lobster. The scene whenever he keeps saying a daddy-daughter date and she keeps getting embarrassed. The very last part of that when I like chucked the fries at him, that was all me. That was all me. And I did it. And he looked at me after he went, did they tell you to do that? And I'm like, nope. But I was like, you see, because like this is like I have the same relationship with Lance that I do with my actual dad, and that's exactly what I would have done to my actual dad. I was like, it'll be funny, why not? It was really funny. And then afterwards, he started eating the fries off. Yeah, that's Lance for you. But yeah, that's like my favorite improv, unscripted moment.
Thank you.
Hi again.
Hi.
So, since you enjoy stunts so much, what would be a dream stunt you'd like to perform in the future?
Oh. Listen, if I say I binge Mission Impossible movies, so like, I love those movies. And of course, like, he does his own stunts, and that would be so cool to do. I also, how we talked about Marvel earlier, they do stunts there too. And so like, have you seen like the Wicked behind the scenes whenever Cynthia Erivo has like the thing and she's flying around?
Yes.
That.
Oh, you want to fly?
Please, let me fly. Come on,
Okay,
guys. Come on, guys. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I love that.
Well, we got just a couple minutes left here. One of the things that obviously, like any job, you have really great days, and other days you're like, why am I doing this? How do you deal with how do you keep the balance and everything?
I mean, being on Young Sheldon, there was never a day where it was like, do I not want to do this anymore? Because they made the set so, they let me be a kid, which to a 10-year-old growing up in Hollywood was like really important. And they let Ian and I and Montana just be a kid. And like, it was like our set was just such a fun place to be. It was a second home. But if there ever was a day where like I wasn't, like, not everyone has like good days, and not everyone's going into work with like a smile on their face. And so if there was ever a day where I was kind of like down in the dumps or something, it was really sweet because like Montana is the kind of person who like, he won't like come over to you and he'll be like, sit down, what's wrong? But he'll like cheer you up, he'll like be there, and he'll just kind of be goofy and stuff. And then all like the cast and crew, they're just like so supportive. So if there's ever a day where like you're just like having a rough day, they all like are there to lift you up and help. And so I had a great support system.
So what's next for Raegan Revord?
I mean, I got my book, and so that comes out September 2nd. Pre-order link is available. But I don't know. I'm currently auditioning because of like the strike that happened and stuff. It's like the industry is like very quiet right now, but it's starting to like pick back up. So fingers crossed, I'm auditioning and stuff. But yeah, I have another book idea that I'm gonna start working on. I can tell you nothing. But yeah, I'm working on that. And then really right now, I'm just prioritizing Rules for Fake Girlfriends because that's my main thing right now. But yeah, who knows? Lots of unexpected things possibly. Who knows?
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Raegan Revord, Young Sheldon. Give a round of applause.